Fraser Valley, police found a scene more like something out of Afghanistan, a plantation full of poppy plants. If you didn't know what you were looking at, you could totally dismiss this innocuous-looking field of bulbs, but someone recognized what they were and tipped off the RCMP. Almost 3 hectares and 60,000 poppy plants. Not the kind found in household gardens, but the type used to produce opium and heroin. Even in marijuana-rich BC, where drug busts happen daily, this is a first.
Our investigators had to become experts on opium poppy because we simply haven't seen it before.
The climate here for poppy growing is far from ideal. Super hot and super dry is best, which is why investigators say the narcotic resin produced when you slash these bulbs is not of very high quality. Still, the plant can be made into something called doda by grinding up the bulb and stalk into a powder and mixing it with water into a tea-like drink.
It certainly wouldn't be as strong as something as heroin, but because it does contain the opiates such as morphine and codeine, it certainly would develop a fairly strong reaction to somebody that would consume it.
Small bag.
Sometimes referred to as poor man's heroin, doda is especially popular in Canada's South Asian community and is a growing worry for community leaders such as Harry Baines.
I have calls from many, women who are worried about their husbands who are using it. And RCMP, about a year ago, didn't even know anything about this drug that was being sold in our stores.
In Brampton, Ontario, doda has already been identified as a significant public health risk, used by taxi drivers and others who work long hours to help them keep going longer. This doctor from Surrey, BC, goes as far as calling doda addiction an impending disaster.
First you have to take a small amount, then you take more and more and more, and then you become totally dependent.
As for the poppies, 2 men who were tending them were arrested and now face drug charges. The plants themselves are now gone. Police pulled some up and kept them for evidence and plowed under the rest. Well, police told me this is something, the bust, they felt they had to move in very quickly on, because what happens is those poppy bulbs can get mature and then explode, and that would send all kinds of narcotic seeds blowing around in the wind to land in nearby fields, and that's something, say police, they just did not want to see happen. Amanda.
Chris, what do we know about where people are getting doda from?
Well, we know that you can buy doda in what's known locally as flower shops, about 20 or so around the Lower Mainland. Now, these so-called flower shops sell real flowers, but they also sell the dried doda, the husks as well, which people, as I say, grind up. Now, police know about them. There have been a few busts. There was a fairly sizable one in Surrey last November. Several people were arrested, but then they were released. Amanda.
All right, Chris Brown in Chilliwack, thanks. Well, needless to say, don't try this at home. The narcotic derived from these plants, doda or dode, is a prohibited substance. Its effect is similar to that of heroin, a sense of euphoria and well-being. And like heroin, doda is addictive.